Now, Alex, I have a question for you, being the person I go to with F1 questions.
Okay.
So hopefully you have an answer. Oh, sorry about that.
Feeling the pressure. Feeling the pressure now.
You should do. So Hamilton got a 5-second penalty. Under traditional rules, that would have been come into the pits, stop for 5 seconds, leave the pits. So he would have lost a net 27 or 28 seconds during the pit stop instead of 23. I was surprised to see that they could use both or serve both their penalties under the same pit stop. Has that always been a thing, or is that something new? I haven't been watching this Formula One for as long as you. I just thought to myself that
I
it shouldn't
spotted this
happen.
as well. Yeah, I spotted this as well. And I think, as far as I'm aware, you can serve a penalty when you pit. So technically, what they should have done is you should have pitted and taken, served a 5-second penalty, and then the other one would have been a time penalty
At the end.
added on at the end. So that's the way I think it should have been.
Yeah.
What probably happened is that they just did it to see. Maybe Mercedes knew this and they were like, let's just be cheeky and take both, because I think
It
the
won't
stewards,
make a difference at the end, will it?
Yeah, I think the stewards probably didn't want to demand that they give him another penalty for not serving the last penalty properly. So come in again, take another penalty. I don't know if they would have wanted to do that.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
I think it might have been. It's one of those things where whenever you have like a sport that's being obviously mediated by human beings who also have a lot of pressure being exerted on them, and it's a form of entertainment, much like, I always go to football as the analog because it's the only other sport I really know much about. You see it in other sports like football where the referee makes a decision, and sometimes it's a little bit close to the bone, it's a little bit on the edge, but there are so many factors at play, and if you go completely by the rule book exactly every single time, it can make for a slightly, kind of toxic atmosphere.
Yeah, it kind of.
But there's not a lot of leeway.
I get what you mean.
I'm not sure how to square that circle with sort of. It's very, very difficult to square that circle of having something that follows the rules but also isn't sort of completely sanitized and doesn't have any room for a bit of drama. And no, sorry, you've got to come in for yet another penalty because you didn't serve that penalty exactly as we demanded you to. That's one of those things where, I don't know, technically they shouldn't have done it. But they already had taken enough of a time beating by that point that.
True. And I'm pretty sure an FIA officer or steward would be standing next to that pit crew with a stopwatch, or I like to imagine a stopwatch, but it's probably a digital stopwatch. I was thinking of more of like an analog one, like the old school ones. But they, if that wasn't an acceptable thing to do, I'm pretty sure it would have been pointed out there and then. Because anytime you serve a penalty at your pit stop, there is someone down there adjudicating it, making sure you are stationary for that amount of time. So I guess if it wasn't allowed to be done, then something would have been said straight away. So, yeah, it happened. It surprised me.
These things move very quickly. There's always just a chance for them to try and be a bit cheeky. And I don't know.
Teams are very clever.
We don't have all the information on that one without perhaps going through all the footage that we can find and forming an opinion on it. But
you never know.
Have that luxury right now.
He might be under investigation.
2020.
I was just about to say, he might be under investigation whilst you're recording this, because I think Hamilton has been under investigation for the majority of this weekend. So
yeah, that's true.
We'll find out after we finish this podcast.